Few people know about this amazing function of our ocean, but exactly this function maintains life on the planet Earth. The only question is, how long? What exactly does our ocean do, and what does it protect the inhabitants of the planet from? One of the most important functions performed by the ocean is cooling the Earth's interior. Like an enormous air conditioning system, through the atmosphere, it releases into space the internal heat, which is transmitted to the lithospheric plates by our heated mantle and magma chambers. The ocean performs heat exchange and cooling functions, just like the cold water in nuclear reactors. Our ocean plays a special role during the peak stress on our planet during the 12,000-year galactic cycle of catastrophes. When additional energy is coming from space to our Earth's core, external impact leads to additional heating on the Earth's interior, which only increases the stress on our ocean. Moreover, every 24,000 years, the impact is several times more intense, and the heating is greater. Today, the dynamics of seismic and volcanic activity on Earth already indicate that we are approaching the peak of the 24,000-year cycle. The only difference is that we are approaching it much faster than in all previous cycles, which is very alarming. And this threatens that in our cycle, a catastrophe may occur that has never happened before, a magma rupture in the Mariana Trench, leading to a powerful explosion that would shut down our core and burst our atmosphere. Such a catastrophe will not only lead to the end of humanity as a species, but also to the death of the very planet, our Earth. Why did our planet go through all previous cycles, but this time we're saying it will not? Why was there less heat in the Earth's interior in previous cycles, and the Earth coped with it, but now it cannot? Where has the malfunction occurred, and what is the reason? There is an answer to these questions. The failure occurred in our ocean. We, people, are the reason for that. Currently, our ocean's heat conducting function is disrupted. It can no longer release heat into the atmosphere in the required amounts. This happened precisely now because never before in millions of years have microparticles been added to the ocean, which we have done. Most of us know that oil is hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons at the molecular level critically reduce the ocean's heat conductivity. It is oil that is the raw material for production of one of the main pollutants of our ocean, plastics. The fact is that when it gets into our water system, it does not decompose, but breaks down into microparticles, so-called micro and nanoplastics. Since plastic is a derivative of hydrocarbons, its particles at the micro level change the chemical composition of oceanic waters, and its acidity reduces the heat capacity of waters and impairs heat conductivity. How do plastic nanoparticles end up in our ocean, you might ask? The only reason for this is us, humans. Humanity began mass producing plastic in the 1950s, and now almost everything that we have produced during this time is already in our oceans. Entire islands of plastic cover the surface of the ocean. Their total area is practically equal to the territory of the United States and Australia combined. But you know what the worst part is? That all the plastic we see on the surface is only 1%. And 99% of the plastic is in the waters of our oceans. Micro and nanoplastics have already permeated the entire thickness of our oceans. Just imagine how much of it has accumulated there. In fact, today, there is no place in the ocean that does not contain microplastics. Even the deepest point of our ocean, the Mariana Trench, at a depth of 11 kilometers, there is microplastic. Imagine that. What's frightening is that it is precisely in this place where microplastic is most prevalent, actually. And yet, this is the most vulnerable place on our planet, where heat dissipation is most important to prevent a catastrophe. Oil enters our ocean in its primary form as well. Annually, that means yearly, up to 30 million tons of oil enter the oceans as a result of extraction transportation, and accidents. To understand just how much this is, let's do some simple calculations together. Let's assume that 1 ton of oil covers an area of 12 square kilometers of the ocean's surface. If we poured these 30 million tons of oil into the ocean at once, it would cover 360 million square kilometers. That's 360 million square kilometers of water with an oil-like film. That being said, the total area of the world's ocean is 361 million square kilometers. That is, this oil-like film would cover the entire ocean. Now, you can begin to imagine what enormous volumes these are. Oil enters the ocean continuously. Some of it evaporates, but its largest part, 60%, settles on the ocean floor. Oil also forms a film on the ocean surface. Aerial photography has recorded that nearly 20% of the ocean surface is already covered by such an oil-like film. This further blocks our ocean's ability to release heat and overall disrupts its evaporation by more than twice. As a result of pollution by hydrocarbons and plastic, the ocean has lost its capacity to actually release heat. Instead, it accumulates heat inside, causing even more warming from endogenous heat from the planet's interior. Thus, as you can see, it is us humans, through our activities, that have disrupted the system that has been functioning for millions of years before us, killing its very important link, its oceans. As our ocean is currently struggling to cool and is dissipating less heat, it is starting to warm up from the bottom. A warming of 0.04 degrees Celsius has been detected at depths of 4.5 kilometers. It may seem like just a small value. However, in a room, we wouldn't even notice such an increase. But imagine what this means on a planetary scale. What this means in terms of millions of cubic kilometers of ocean, in fact. And off the coast of North America, just as an example, there has been a rise in the ocean bottom temperatures of up to 5 degrees Celsius. As a result of the temperature increase in the bottom waters, huge volumes of heated water rise to the surface. These so-called blobs that you have seen on news articles, the temperature of these zones, guess what? Can rise up to 6 degrees Celsius above the surrounding water. These blobs can reach as big as, for example, the area of Texas in the United States. There are more and more of such giant blobs appearing. You see, such anomalies indicate that our ocean is dying, in fact, and its temperature regimen is seriously disturbed. The increase in ocean bottom temperatures leads to catastrophic consequences, as it represents a huge amount of energy that was unable to be released from our Earth's interior. This energy is equivalent to the power of millions of nuclear bombs aimed against us, humanity. It accumulates in the depths and leads to even greater heating and expansion of magma. Well, as you can guess, this will inevitably lead the planet to a hydraulic impact in the Mariana Trench. The accumulation of endogenous energy inside the Earth intensifies the instability of our planet's core. Thus, our core is destabilized not only from an external impact from space, but also due to the accumulation of this excess energy within our Earth's interior. And the more our core is destabilized, the weaker our electromagnetic field becomes. Our very shield, which protects us from all kinds of dangerous cosmic radiation, is disappearing before our eyes. In turn, the weakening of the magnetic field leads to the thinning of our atmosphere. A recent study has showed us that the thickness of the stratosphere has already decreased by 400 meters since 1980. And this is a critical indicator for us. The atmosphere is supposed to transport excess heat from our ocean into space and protect our planet from harmful cosmic radiation. But plastic nanoparticles rise with oceanic evaporation from the ocean into the atmosphere and change its chemical composition. You see, because of this, instead of transferring that heat further, the atmosphere accumulates it. And as a result, the Earth is now absorbing more energy than it releases into space. This, in turn, increases our greenhouse effect that we've all come to know. Because of this, the ocean is warming from above and from below, and it is accumulating even more heat. Today, we see that our ocean is not coping with its function of cooling the tectonic plates and releasing said heat into the atmosphere, because it is warming up from both above and below. As a result of the weakening of our electromagnetic field and the disruption of atmospheric functions, cosmic radiation enters our Earth much more actively, causing further destabilization of our core. And now we can see a vicious circle that leads our planet and ourselves to destruction. This is why we will not go through this cycle and why we are approaching it much faster. You see, because us stupid human beings have killed our ocean, it no longer performs its initial function. We have been witnessing signs of the death of our ocean for many years now, and this is happening at an extremely rapid pace. This includes the mass extinction of plankton, which is responsible for releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. You know, the thing that helps us breathe. This also includes the death of the Great Barrier Reef. I know you've seen the news article. Guess what? That existed for 25 million years, but practically died within just 100 years due to the warming and acidification of our ocean. All of these processes we've discussed are only a consequence of the main tragedy. The ocean has lost its ability to dissipate heat into the atmosphere. We have disrupted the function of our main life-supporting air conditioner. We have clogged its pipes. And as a result, more and more heat stays inside the Earth, and magma heats up even more. We, ourselves, are pouring said oil on the fire right before our eyes. Currently, we are witnessing the growth of destructive cataclysms much earlier than they should have started, in fact. This includes the melting of the Antarctic and Greenland glaciers from the bottom up, abnormal heating of Western Siberia, and an increased seismic and volcanic activity all over our planet, and the awakening of stratovolcanoes. This is how we ended up in this situation. Our entire human race, along with our planet, has a high probability of not surviving this cycle. And it's all because of our stupidity and mindless consumerism that have killed our ocean. And we did this at the most dangerous moment in time, precisely when we needed its protection the most, during the cycle of climate catastrophes. For millions of years, you see, our ocean protected us and was the only mechanism of defense. Now we've killed it, and we are left alone and defenseless in the face of a global threat. I know. You might have a question after all of this. Do we have a chance to survive all of this? We do. Yes, we do. But for this, we need technologies that will protect us and help clean the ocean of hydrocarbons. Yet everyone is stingy with their money, and no one will allocate resources for this. Moreover, it is necessary to eliminate the cause, cosmic radiation, or a cosmic influence. And today, no one is solving this problem. As for those who could solve it, said brilliant scientists all over the globe. Today, they work for the military-industrial complexes of their countries, which is understandable, actually. And it's crucial to create conditions for them, actually, in which they can work on the real threat to humanity. What can we, ordinary, simple people, do about this? Well, I'm glad you asked. Get up and speak out about it. Massively speak out about what is happening, about the true causes of climate change, about the progression of catastrophes, and about the need to unite scientists into a single scientific center to combat this climate issue. In this way, we people will create a mass public demand for a solution to this problem. And those who make decisions in this world will be obligated to assist us in this. Still don't understand it? Well, I'm asking you to become advocates of the truth. Understand this problem I've discussed with you today, and get up and speak about it. What happens if we don't do that? Well, guess what? We will die much earlier than 2036. Think about the millions of nuclear bombs that have already begun counting down under our feet, and answer yourself the question, is life worth making a little effort to save it?